hair. Hello my book friends, my name is Brenna. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited about today's video. I had this idea, okay? I joined BookTube so that I could talk about books, right? I wanted to discuss books, discuss authors, characters. I wanted to talk about bookish topics. So I came up with, or I thought of this idea to make a series where I choose a random topic, bookish related, whether it's, like I said, an author or a series, or I don't know, like I could do favorites lists and things like that. And then we just discuss that topic. I am calling this Taco Tuesday. I know. So it's like, you know, Taco Tuesday, but it's Talk-O Tuesday. It's so dumb, but I love it. I don't think, at least not immediately, will I be posting every single Tuesday. I probably won't be able to film something for every single Tuesday, but I'll do it when I can. So, for our first Taco Tuesday, our first official Taco Tuesday, we are going to be talking about whether or not you should read The Assassin's Blade before you read Throne of Glass. Why am I talking about this? Why is this my first Taco Tuesday? Well, let me tell you, I have actually given quite a few people my opinion on this topic. I have heard a lot of people say that you don't need to read The Assassin's Blade before you start Throne of Glass. I've heard people say that you don't need to read it until after you read Heir of Fire. Or even some people say you don't have to read it until after you read Queen of Shadows. I'm here to give y'all my opinion, and yes, this is just my opinion, on whether or not you should read The Assassin's Blade before Throne of Glass, or if you can wait. So, my opinion. The short of it is yes, I think you should read The Assassin's Blade before going into Throne of Glass. You do not have to. You don't. Heck, I don't know, you could not read it at all if you don't want to. I personally think it's beneficial to read The Assassin's Blade first. Reasons. 1. If you've read Throne of Glass, you know where our main character Celaena starts out in the book. You know where she is, but you don't really know the why, and you don't get to know the why until later on in the book. It's almost like you feel no empathy for Celaena at the start of Throne of Glass if you have not read The Assassin's Blade. The Assassin's Blade gives you so much backstory, so much information, and it actually has a lot of character development for Celaena herself. She goes through a lot of character development throughout the entire series, but she has a lot in The Assassin's Blade, in the novellas. I personally think if you just start with Throne of Glass and you don't have that backstory, you won't care about Celaena. You won't care about where she's at. You won't care about the things she does in the book or why she does them, or at least you won't care as much. Whereas if you read The Assassin's Blade first, you'll understand Celaena's motivations a lot more. So that is the first reason. And off of that, I have this theory. Can't prove it, but it's just a theory that the people that read Throne of Glass before reading The Assassin's Blade are the ones who end up disliking Celaena, who think she's a bee with an itch. And yeah, she totally can't be. I'm not going to deny that. But if you read The Assassin's Blade, you understand why. So, the second reason I think you should read The Assassin's Blade first is because you meet a lot of great characters. There are 5 novellas in this bind-up, and you meet different characters in almost every single one of them. And yes, they do not come back into the story until Queen of Shadows. That's why you don't have to read it first. But there's one character in particular in this book that I think everyone should know and love before starting Throne of Glass. Not talking about Celaena. I do think you should grow to love her before you start this book. But there's another character in here that I just... feelings. So the characters are the reason why people tell you you don't have to read The Assassin's Blade to begin with, because the characters don't show up again until later on in the series. So if you do decide, or you've already read Throne of Glass and you haven't read The Assassin's Blade, I do highly implore you to read it at the very latest after Heir of Fire. which is the third book in the series. I also kind of feel like this should just be counted as the first book in the series. I think everyone should start with it. And the third reason I think you should start with The Assassin's Blade first is because the stories themselves, not counting the characters, not counting character development or anything like that, the stories are great. They are very well written. This is actually one of my favorite books in the entire series. I love it so much. A lot of feelings about The Assassin's Blade. I love it. I actually think it's the one I've reread the most out of the entire series. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I should also be a little transparent and say that the reason I'm telling you should read it first is because that's the way I read it. However, I read the novellas as ebooks before Throne of Glass was even out yet. If you've read the novellas and you know how it ends, please just imagine reading that and then having to wait for the first book. It was awful. If you had to wait between Empire of Storms and Kingdom of Ash, you understand. At least I didn't have to wait 2 years for it. It was only like a couple months or something like that. But yeah, it was intense. So that's probably another reason why I feel so strongly about reading The Assassin's Blade first. You know, just being transparent here. Anyway, yeah, that was my first Taco Tuesday. Did you enjoy it? If you did and you have any topics you want to talk about, it doesn't have to be an author or a book series or anything like that. It could be anything book related. Heck, it doesn't even have to be book related if you don't want it to be. I really wanted to do this because I have opinions, as we all do. They are just my opinions. I'm not trying to force my opinions on anyone. I'm just getting them out there for y'all to hear if you want, disregard if you don't. But yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.